Previously, on part 1 of the Blacksmithing a Knife series, we met with Mr. Charles Hawkins of Hawk Custom Knives, who showed us the tools necessary to do this project. We selected the material in which to make the knife, and then Mr. Hawkins got us started on heating the metal and hammering out the shape. So let's move on and see what we wind up with here in the end.
Because you got 2 burners, so that'll work.
That'll work there? Alright.
Just lay it long ways. And
now we're going to lay it
just like that. You don't have to hit hard because it's...
Yeah, and it does curve and twist, doesn't it?
There you go, and you just keep doing that and straightening it out as you go.
Really, you don't have to hit it all that hard,
nope,
do you?
Not an old railroad spot. Once you get them good and high.
Now that plate steel probably a little different, huh?
Yeah.
Boy, that's I like that curve. I think we'll leave that curve.
If you hit too hard, now you're getting it to bow at the other end.
So it does kind of get
touch.
Yeah, it is all about feel, isn't it?
Yep.
It's probably cooled down. I think I heard it change. It's got a tink to it.
Now you noticed, yep.
Yeah. Blacksmithing 101.
When you hear the different sound in the heating, then you quit because it's not hot anymore.
Yep. Because what you could hear is more or less a thud. And then once this started cooling down on this end, you could hear the tink, tink, tink sound. It's real metallic. I know the microphone on that sucks, so I know you couldn't hear that and with the wind blowing and everything, but take my word for it. It goes from thud to tink, you got to reheat.
Always wipe off your anvil.
And keep the anvil clean. Probably going to have to reheat it after we go and have a look at this. So okay, as you can tell, this thing is going to be a little bit long for a handle. So we're going to have to cut this off a little bit, and we're going to do a makeshift way of doing this. So I want the handle right about here, so I want this curve to come behind my hand. So probably right about here is where we're going to knock that off. Just probably right in front of that first hole. You want to do it, or you want me
Doesn't
to?
Matter. Right
Charles
here.
is going to demonstrate. Probably back just right there. Worry it loose. Bend it back and forth till it breaks off. We don't have a chisel, that's how you do it.
The homemade way.
I'll flatten that out just a bit so it'll make it a little easier to sharpen, especially since it's got that deep groove.
Also, hammering it like that is going to make it a little wider. Going to do the whole thing right there. You need to flip it and do the other side because otherwise it's going to start blowing out.
Or it's curling, It's not bending so well now. I think it cooled down.
Yeah.
It's heating and pounding, heating and pounding. to shape the tip on it a little bit.
Remember when you do that, it's going to flare out. There you go. See that? And hit her back down.
Oh yeah, see, it's so much softer now.
Now if you want to do like a drop point, because you want this to be your bottom of your knife, turn it this way and hit it.
And working on the top a little.
That's getting hard.
There we go. And when you start getting down to the end there, it's
that's when we go to this one.
start working the small hammer. Now for the fine work, he switched over to the smaller, lighter ball peen. We can get a little more hammering done with a whole lot more work, less weight. That's the point. Shaping, finishing.
It also takes out some of your bigger hammer marks.
And cleans it a bit. So now we're starting to get our shape here. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty sweet. Heat and cool over and over. Gotta do it while it's red hot. As soon as it starts to cool, doesn't hammer worth the crap. So you'll see all kinds of good edits here. Looking good. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
More or less have it there to actually put your edge on there. You want to hit it at a more or less of an angle to start building your bevel and stuff on your blade.
Oh, so I was already starting that then, huh? Okay.
Yeah, generally, like when I'm doing a railroad spike or anything like that, if I can get my fingers in here, you'll start hitting it at an angle down here on the bottom, and that'll start making it go into almost into your V for your bevel,
which will also in turn widen the blade a bit too.
and it's just a matter of hitting it at a little bit of an angle.
So as you're hitting it like that, it's grabbing that metal and dragging it outwards too.
Yep. Now we're going to thin this area out right here by doing that, so we don't have to do quite as much grinding.
So there we go. This is going to be the basic shape of the knife. It's not going to be a real wide blade. It's probably going to be a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but you know, that's kind of what you get. Anyway, we'll have a good nice grip on here. It'll have a good pommel on the end, and then a good cutting edge probably running from here all the way down to here. So what we're going to do at this point, because like Charles was saying, the horseshoe really isn't the right kind of metal to sit there and heat and hammer over and over. So we're going to get it to this point, and we're going to clean it up on a belt grinder a little bit and start laying an edge down on it. We're just going to let it cool now. This is the ultimate DIY. This is the coolest thing I think that Charles has. This caught my eye. So while I was here, I figured I'd show you this thing. This is a homemade belt grinder. So I'm going to give you a good up and down on it and let Charles tell you a little bit about this thing. This is really cool. It's got an air conditioner motor and air conditioner controls on it. And oh yeah, raw power.
It has 2 speeds. I have it set up. It's just a regular old air conditioner motor. I have it set up with 2 speeds, a slow speed and then a little faster speed. The head and all was made by R.W. Wilson for me, and I just took a piece of wood. It's probably 2 inches thick and mounted it to it. And I mainly use it for finger grooves. whenever I'm doing a knife and I have a finger groove, I use this up here. It's 72 inches is the belt length, so I take these belts and cut them in half, and there's a few places I can buy the belts, but this is all handmade. R.W. Wilson made the head for me. The wheel here is made out of a bunch of blocks of wood we glued together, and then he put it on a motor and used a chisel and rounded it off, and then we put an inner tube over the top of it, just an old inner tube, and drilled a hole and put a set screw in there, and that's my running wheel for the motor. But this is something I use all the time. Like I say, I mainly use it for finger grooves and things like that. All you have to do is reach up here, pull it down, and then I can put a bigger belt on here and run the big wheel and do some flat grinding if I like.
So on that wheel, right there, that's the ultimate use of a Ranger band for all you bushcrafters out there that love the inner tubes. Here's you a nice shot of it. Look at that. First hand forged horseshoe knife. It's got some work to do. We'll finish up in my workshop. But Charles, I do want to thank you very much for the personal instruction there on that, and for the use of the old dragon's mouth here, and show me how to get this going. I hope this was good and informative for everybody else out there. Now, as you can see, now that I can actually hold it without a glove, you can see it's got a little length on it. Blade starts right about here, runs out to there. Probably do a little tweaks on this as we finish this thing up. Still a little rough around the edges, but that's what we're going to start working out the kinks. Left a couple of nails in there. It's going to be great. Thanks again, Charles. I do appreciate it.
All right, anytime.
We'll be back to treat this.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah. We'll show you how that's done in part 50.